Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have now the official PlayStation 5 specs. And while it's going to be really fun to kind of do a deep dive and look into it, there actually was once again another bonus upgrade that happened with the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, this is actually kind of cool because we're now finally getting the hands-on information for the PS5 Pro. A lot of things were like rumors, speculations, trying to figure things out. And throughout these next few days, probably the next 2 weeks or so, we're going to have a lot of brand new information when it comes to small changes, testing, and a lot of other various things out there. So if you guys are looking forward to it, and thank you guys all so much for all the brand new subscribers. We're getting super close to the 69,000 subscribers, which is kind of the goal before the end of the year. So thank you guys for like just phenomenal good vibes everywhere. And I hope you guys are all very excited for your own PS5 Pros. I do want to remind you guys, we are giving one away on the channel itself. Before we give you guys just like good details on the brand new leaks and information, the overall huge improvements on the PS5 Pro from even the prior specs. So make sure you guys are subscribed for your chance to win a PS5 Pro. If you guys want bonus entries for the giveaway, we have a second channel in the description and comments, 2 Twitters and a Twitch if you guys want to follow for those. And of course, if you guys want to go pick up a console, which a lot of you guys have been using the affiliate links down below, thank you guys so much. You guys are all fantastic. And let's dive into some pretty cool and nifty news. Now, as you guys probably know, we have the really rough idea of what the PS5 Pro is going to offer. We may make a few of these videos too as well when it fully comes out, but the PS5 Pro itself is a pretty nifty console. It's an improvement too as well. The GPU is slightly better, the CPU is overclockable, but there is one big major hardware change that we're now just finding out about as of like this week, where people are officially having their hands on for their PS5 Pros. And this is where stuff starts getting a little bit more on the fun side. Because let alone if we had a bunch of cool software updates. If you guys missed, we've been making a few videos on the channel if you guys want to creep on them. But there's basically been even cool software updates to make the PS4 games run better. We've also now seen that CMOS secret update too as well. But this one is actually a little bit more substantial. This actually will affect performance and will make the games better. And this is actually a slightly bigger update. Now, sorry for 2 minutes of yapping and dive into the point, but right now we are now seeing the number one, this kind of leads into part 2 of this, the full PlayStation 5 specs have now been officially released and are now online. So this is the like end all be all. This is what the console is shipping on. Now, we've had a little few bits and pieces and we knew about some specifics, but like I said, there is a one major big update, and that's in regards now to the RAM of the console. So basically here, let me go into a few things, saying the full list of specs for the PlayStation 5 Pro have now officially leaked online, revealing that the console will have an 8-core Zen 2 CPU and more. So basically, we had this over here from Bruno Fast, who has seemingly got his hands on the console before its official release date. And a lot of these like early videos we're making right now are more on the leaks. Like we're seeing a lot of leaks on these consoles overall. And like some people actually have had their consoles physically like in person if you guys want to go and see some of them. Like here's a good example of what it looks like online for the PS5 Pro. They look nice, they look snazzy, and I'm all for it. So basically, here's the full list, which came from the official PlayStation 5 box. It seems like a lot of other outside countries, such as like, I don't know, just a lot of random outside non-American countries are going and getting it. But basically, you guys can read the full PS5 specs down below. And the biggest thing to go and note, and we'll kind of go through the full list, but right now, RAM actually has a hidden improvement where there's 2 more bigger gigabytes of RAM itself. So I'm going to talk about that very, really quickly. But anyway, what that's like huge. That is actually huge. It's bigger than we were expecting. So right now the CPU is around the same, which is this, random Ryzen Zen, which is basically an AMD CPU. The only big difference is from comparison to the other ones is that this will be overclockable. What that means is that the console itself will be able to go just take it full advantage of the console CPU a little bit more. So it's the same thing, but due to better like electricity, better APUs, better motherboards, a better heat sink, which you can run at cooler temperatures, and overall better GPU that can take more load off the CPU that allows the CPU, which is pretty much the same, to be more optimized and better. The GPU, as we know, is around a 45% improvement, which is a custom-made AMD GPU. We'll maybe do like a more of a deep dive video on this if you guys ever see a secondary one, but basically it's just a big GPU out there, good improvement. But as we've mentioned over here too, there is also a big RAM improvement when it comes to the console itself. Now, we do have the DDR6, which is the more newer type RAM, 16 gigabytes, which is fantastic. If you guys have been curious on that too, is basically the idea that how do I word this? Basically, someone actually explains in the RAM thing. I was actually looking over here to kind of give you guys a better example on what RAM would go and be. And they use the example of basically like a desk. And I want to use their same exact example too, because that is actually a new hidden in like special improvement out here too as well. Like it's nice to go and see that we have this special, like a bonus RAM, which was rumored on before. Now, some people are saying this bonus RAM might be more so for running for the actual operations themselves, which does seem pretty important. And we've heard about that, but it also has a better improvement on it too as well. So this was like being based on the initial leaks, where they basically had, I believe, this random RAM to make sure like the operating system should be running well. From what I understand, we haven't had the hands on the console itself right now, but it's basically like the idea that you boost up your console. Let me go to this desk metaphor. So you have your desk. And the more you have on the desk, the more cluttered it is. It might be harder for you to like move your hand around it, find things, might take a few extra seconds. If you need to insert new things on the desk, you may have to like move things around. If it's completely cluttered and filled up, you can't do much. You can't put your water cup on your desk. You can't go and move your mouse. You can't like move around stuff. You can't add new plants, whatever it might go and be. You just can't end up doing it. So the idea behind that is that they're trying to go add this extra bit of RAM, which I do believe for this operations side, which we kind of knew, I think, off initial leaks, where they want to make sure your operating system, when you boot up your console, is working through that. Essentially stating, as you turn on your console, if you want to go and quick resume, go to the PlayStation Store, have your game kind of set up for like prior messages, updates, PlayStation Plus, looking at your messages, your DMs, or whatever it might be, your network coding, all this various internal stuff inside of the actual console itself. That is meant to be utilized in secondary RAM improvement too, which I think is all around really, really great to go and see. Now, some people have also been sitting too as well, the RAM actually might just be better for the actual like computing power, which actually might make the extra 2 gigabytes of RAM just overall nicer and better, which I think is fantastic to go and see. So basically, if you just want to see the big comparison too, we have also a nicer power supply and of course a 2 terabyte SSD, which is obviously there for, just because there's a digital console, to buy the disk drive. But anyway, I just think that like DDR extra, like RAM, like 2 gigabytes extra RAM is very, very nice to make sure the console is perpetually running well. And it really does take a little bit of a boatload off of the games too. And I think that's a very nice hidden improvement and we didn't know, we were rumored on that, but it wasn't fully, I think, like properly confirmed, I guess maybe until we physically see it on hands as well. So it's just nice to go and see. Anyway, so there's improvements. Like we basically have a bigger RAM improvement. And like I said, RAM is basically just kind of opening up more bandwidth for your actual computer, PC, or PS5, whatever you want to go call it as a PC comparison, where it basically just opens up more. And like it allows more things to happen. It takes the load off of games if you have more of it. And that was a really big issue with Monster Hunter Wilds, where I think were expecting at least an 8 gigabyte of video RAM. Now, video RAM is slightly different than normal RAM, but still it's in the same idea, where like the more that's being ray traced, the more that's being held, the more information being stored, the more stuff in an open world, more plants, more foliage, more air, more water, whatever, the more that's ongoing kind of logs down and slogs down your, say, PC or PS5. And that was a big issue for Wilds. Now, the same thing, too, for the PS5. If you have a separate thing just for operations, that will make sure that you're not perpetually slogging thing with like Windows. Like right now, a good example is I'm running on a PC recording this. So I have like OBS, which is recording the actual video itself. I have all these web tabs open. My PC is running. Like I have Windows going on, which logs down the system if I want to play any games. So basically the whole idea is the PlayStation is trying to go to get rid of that and make it so whenever you're launching on your PS5 Pro, it's more focused on the actual game itself. And it also does have the nice RAM improvement, which also lets people go and just like it just runs better. Like it's just a nice bonus additional thing that is also, I believe, not included on the PS5, which also makes the Pro a slightly better option. So a good example too as well. And they also did add more of this DDR5 memory too, as we mentioned on that. So basically the big difference between the two, which we might go and cover in a separate video, more deep dive, I just want to go bring up this nice highlight of it, of the additional RAM, which does seem like it's confirmed. You do have a slightly better CPU. You have a slightly better GPU. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have heard about this stuff. Saying according to the PlayStation, new hardware means that the PlayStation 5 Pro will render 45% faster than the original PS5 due to that, with also better ray tracing efficiency due to the AMD work along with them building the card. And the PlayStation also had the PSSR upscaling too as well. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you guys all know about that. But basically, the idea is that you do have a just better CPU, better GPU. The memory is way bigger. This added a gigabyte of RAM, which once again was rumored on for the initial leaks months ago, but it does seem like that is 100% confirmed for operational RAM, which makes it better for games because it's less of a log on your gaming platform. You have the operating system out there. Obviously, better Wi-Fi support, which makes some things nicer. And of course, the extra USB-C port as well. And a slightly bigger power supply because there's more power being used with a slightly slightly stronger GPU and overclocking the CPU and having additional RAM, which is overall needed. So it's fun to go and see that it is a slightly better console now too, even based on the RAM size, which should also make the entire console run a lot more efficient. And this is why I'm getting still excited for the PS5 Pro. Sorry if that was a rough explanation. Basically, it just has a proper thing to purely take care of the operating system, which makes the gaming load a little bit easier. So I'm excited to go and see this. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on here, our second channel. We also have the 2 Twitters and the Twitch. We'll play live up on Twitch board, hanging out if you guys want to hang out there. We also have all the affiliate links linked down below in case you guys do want to pick up your own PS5 Pro. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.